Hey guys, and welcome! Yes, we're back at it on Total War Warhammer 3, and today we have a bit of a treat for you. We have a park map replay. Been a long-stand supporter of the channel and a fantastic player all round. He's known as the Italian Falcon, I believe. Coming in with Grand Cafe, taking on the forces of Khorne. Should be a good fun game indeed. Cafe, amazing in land battles. Probably, arguably the best faction in the game on land battles. They're certainly up there regardless of where you think they should be. But in domination, it tends to be the complete other end of the spectrum, I'm afraid, and they tend to be considered relatively terrible, particularly the changes to comeback mechanic. They can't really sit back and turtle like they used to. Them and Kislev, I think, were hurt most by that change, though I do think the change in general was a good idea. So let's delve into this and check out the builds. We do have a bucket ton, of course, of peasant longspearmen, as you'd expect in any good Grand Cafe army. Got some Jade Warriors on the back, nice amount of cavalry, Jade Lancers, and peasant horsemen. In the skies, we have double Great Longmars. Interesting enough, we also have the Righteous Lance of Wei Jin. Not sure if they're going to be much more of a big boon up against Khorne, but I guess better stats are better stats at the end of the day. We also have a Dragon-Blooded Lord of Yin Magic, which is quite popular at the moment. Coming in with Talons and Ancestral Warrior Summon, but interesting enough, a ability we basically never see, which is Blossom Wind. Could certainly maybe do some decent damage. I love the blinding effect, and because it's got so much armor piercing, could be useful up against the forces of Khorne. We have a lone fire rain rocket. Interesting to see how that performs today. Most will tend to go for the cannons, but I could certainly see up against an infantry heavy faction like Khorne. The rocket's doing relatively decent. You can see an early barrage does come in, not doing the most damage though. For Khorne, it is a bucket ton of infantry as you would expect. We have halberdiers, we have basic warriors, we have dual weapons, we've got exalted bloodletters, you name it, we have it in the Khorne store here. We also have a Spawn of Khorne and a herald on his motorbike, which is pretty cool. Fire rain rocket is starting to add up a little bit damage wise, still nothing too crazy just yet. There should be coming into this element a bit more when folks do start capturing objectives. Herald of Khorne looks badass as hell, one of the coolest mounts they've ever done in Total War. It just looks so freaking cool. Fire rain rockets are now going to be switching targets, and my god, that's what they can do when they finally connect. Massive damage done to the dual weapons. Looks like we have a Summon of Hellforged Host as well as a double Cultist. Cultists have been significantly nerfed, which I'm a big fan of that nerf coming in, meaning they actually have to be in combat for a while before they can pop their abilities. We have a couple of Jade Warriors being summoned in by Mr. Park Map, moving towards Objective 3. Longmars are floating out to the left-hand side, and it's starting to look like it's going to be a nice pitched fight. Khorne most likely want to play super aggressive here and try and pin Cafe back in their deployment zone now that there's no negative for actually capturing the objectives early on. Looks like the Herald has just dived headlong into a load of spearmen. Doesn't want to hang out there for too long. They will start doing some nice poke damage, but I do like this little hit and run. Spawn of Khorne have now got a rear attack into the Peasant Long Spearmen, and you can see that health just gets stripped away. Despite Peasant Long Spearmen being a bonus versus large, the Spawn can really do a number on them. However, we have Jade Warrior Crossbow and adding their fire to the flames, piercing the rotting flesh of the Spawn of Khorne. You can hear explosions and just all-out angry roars and rage from the Spawn. Looks like the Longmars are getting nice and aggressive now, floating over the enemy. They may get pinned up here in a bottleneck situation by the Peasant Longspearmen, which I would love to see, because then the Great Longmars can do some big rear attacks on their opponents. Objective 1 is truly secure right now by Khorne. We've got 2 units over there, and Objective 3 has been hotly contested on. We do have Einhell Gunners though, and they can move in and support against the Exalted Bloodletters, who are going to have a field day up against double Jade Warriors. They will not care. They will rip and tear into them. I think these guys are most likely going to be obstructed though, trying to shoot into those bad boys. It looks like we have some Chaos Warriors, struggling up against Peasant Longspearmen. I think that's more due to the Fire Rain Rocket's early damage. And now we have the Longmars rear attack in to the Chaos Warriors of Khorne, doing some really lovely damage. Some awesome animations coming in as well from the Lord. A bolt of lightning is birthed in their hand and used to explode a Chaos Warrior's skull. Fire Rain Rockets are unleashing hell right now upon the Chaos Warriors. And you can see Peasant Horsemen and Jade Lancers right now, right for ruin. And the world's ending. They move around the flank, looking to get some big rear attacks onto the dual weapons, currently being pinned in place by the Jade Warriors. It really sucks we don't get the damage value at the moment, like damage dealt and stuff you get when you're playing live. Really interesting to see how these players are doing right now. It looks like the Exiled Bloodletters are being ground down. Einhell Gunners are popping occasional shots in there, though they're relatively obstructive. Jade Warriors are dragging them down as well, which is really good to see. It looks like the Herald of Khorne is floating over, looking to contest this objective. In the main fight, though, things seem to be going pretty good for Grand Cafe right now. We've got some cultists lurking about, just being all smelly. Chaos Warriors are being forced back, though, and the spawn are about done. Dual weapons were unable to fight their way through to the Fire Rain rocket, which looks like it's moved up considerably. Maybe a bit of an issue there of it pathing forward, trying to get a bit of line of sight. Got some spearmen who can either be dispatched back to the Shadow Realm so they can heal up a little bit, but instead looks like they're maybe going to be doing a bit of a cheeky push onto Objective 1. Likewise, we have a Grand Cannon being summoned, and it's going to instantly be brought in to counter the Herald of Khorne. Lovely summon here by the Cathay player. Instantly sees the threat. Okay, there's some cavalry on the field now. Let me shut them down. Objective 3 is being held by Grand Cafe for now, though it looks like that won't be the situation for too long, maybe. Though there are some Jade Warrior Halberds on the move as well. The Heralds of Khorne have the Horn of Khorne popped on them, and they are hungry for the blood of Cathayan troops. Driving forward, looking to devour where possible. We have Flesh Hounds here who have been nerfed, luckily. Their price has gone up, which I think they've been nerfed a couple of times now. I think they're in a relatively solid spot here. I don't want them to receive any more nerfs, but they were a bit oppressive for a very long time. So, you know, I'm not too sad if they take the back seat for a while. Spawn are being shut down, likewise as the cultist. He should be able to get his summon relatively soon, though. Halberdiers take a load of fire. Risky Fire Rain rocket crew there, firing amongst their own member. They're actually been pretty accurate and not really hitting too many friendlies. Hellforge hosts are being butchered. Love this play. The mobile air force of the Righteous Lancers and Great Longmars alongside the Lord have done some really lovely damage. Fleshhounds try and countercharge them, but honestly, if I'm these Longmars now, I'm going to be getting the charge on the Fleshhounds, so I would just pop down and devour them up as quickly as physically possible. Looks like the Herald of Khorne has forced his way into the back now. This is where Cathay, this is a bit of a problem for Grand Cafe in general, is they can't kill single entities very quickly. In land battles, it's not a problem, where you have all your range on the field in one go and you can kind of shoot, but this Herald in the back, and you can see the cultists, look how many troops these double cultists are holding up. It is ridiculous. They've been fighting here all day long. Once they get in the back line, they're almost impossible to dislodge, so it's really a problem having these small single entities. I think Grand Cafe really struggled to take down. Maybe I'm wrong though. Let me know if you have answers to that type of unit. It looks like the Longmars are floating in the back here, looking to try to shut down the Fleshhounds. Might be able to get a surround on the Herald of Khorne and drag him down as well. There's a lot of resources, though, bunched up in the back for Cathay, and they are capturing Objective 2, but they've lost Objective 3 just about, and Objective 1 certainly is nowhere near their hands at the moment. Their cavalry was indeed forced off. The Jade Warrior crossbowmen are lighting up the Halberdiers. Lovely bit of play there by the Cathay player. That's a good targeting priority, and the cultists will win this engagement. The ground's littered with the blood and bodies of friend and foe, but double cultist is such a pain to deal with, and I think they're a lot more balanced, though, I must say, now that their ability takes a while in combat to recharge. We're going to get an early Ancestral Warrior summon. The Khorne player should definitely peel off if he sees this, get the Herald of Khorne out of there. They have the Locust of Wrath on them, though, plus 40 melee attack, and the Herald of Khorne is reaping havoc in the back lines here. 108 kills and forcing one of the only two summons you get during the game of the Ancestral Warriors in the back. They are able to catch out the Herald, so it doesn't look like the Khorne player is able to realise this, and he will be getting dragged down, it seems, by the mighty Warriors. A lot harder than Micro, it must be said. In Domination, there's a lot more going on in one time. Objective 2 is starting to fall. We have some Halberdiers. They should be able to force back the Fleshhounds and the beat-up Chaos Warriors, you would think. Objective 3 is relatively open as well. Only 31 Exalted Bloodlayers here. Looks like we do have some Jade Warrior Halberds and Jade Warriors moving over. They will take significant casualties. Bloodlayers go nowhere without a scrap and fight, but, you know, it should be solved, hopefully, in that objective claimed by Grand Cafe. Crossbowmen are still firing in, doing some nice damage. Great Longmars are also swooping down upon the enemy. Bloodlayer summon has now been popped. We have the cultists continuing their pursuit into the back line, and we also got some nasty Fleshhounds jumping on top of the Jade Warriors. These Jade Lancers a little slow to react there, need to move back, although it looks like the Fleshhounds actually changed target for some reason and decide to feast upon the Peasant Horsemen, perhaps thinking that the crossbowmen will be shut down by the Herald of Khorne. Looks like the Jade Lancers are active, though, and they've got a job cut out, but they charge into the fires of hell once more to try to save their friends. Really honourable work there, and it looks like they may be able to save the crossbowmen, at least for now, if the crossbowmen can pull back, so that's what they're trying to do, but the Herald of Khorne has been a nightmare for the Grand Cafe forces all day long. Looks like one cultist peeled off to deal with the Jade Warrior Halberds, trying to wrestle control of this objective. My god! A Sword of Khorne. I don't know if you guys saw that, like, in the distance. Came down and obliterated so much HP of all these units. The straggled survivors will be coming back, though, and they do claim objective 3, so it is a 2-1 cap for Grand Cafe. Very even, though. Battlefield-wise, it's pretty close. Grand Cafe have a lot more resources, but they're kind of bunched up in their deployment zone right now, and this is just what I'm talking about. This Cultist just will not die. He's been in the back line distracting double Longmars and a Lord for ages. It really puts down your artillery pieces, and that's only one of the cultists. There's another one down here. Honestly, I would just ignore him. I would not really bring in any more artillery pieces, go nice and aggressive, and just try to run around the cultists. I think it is probably the only way to actually pull this off. Objective 1's actually been a sneaky back cap here. I love this play by Grand Cafe. Not enough players do this. They get kind of too honed in on one objective. Most players have just been chucking an infinite amount of Cafe forces down to objective 2 right now. We've got a cheeky back cap. We'll have to see if it pays off, though. It is risky. We've got Peasant Longswimmer here, double Peasant Horseman, but with the Herald of Corn nearby, it's going to be tough, and yet more Flesh Hounds are bounding towards victory or a feast in their eyes. Should be able to jump on top of the Peasant Horseman and most likely drag them down. Spearman can do okay damage against them, but they're so beat up by this point. It looks like that back cap did fail onto objective 1. Great Longmars are a little bit tattered, but are now maneuvering over towards objective 3, perhaps looking to rear attack the Hellforged hosts, who are carving a bloody path through the Jade Warriors, who are desperately trying to hold back the rage of the enemy, but it doesn't work. Fighting like berserkers of old, just without a care in the world, going into a full berserker rage here. You can see their stats have been buffed. 57 melee attack with 53 weapon strength, and a bonus versus infantry is really quite nice. Longmars, though, do get a big rear attack. Hopefully that's going to be enough to save the day on this side. I don't know, though. Hellforged hosts are really gnarly. Jade Warriors might want to bump in there and help out, but things are looking pretty bad for Grand Cafe at the moment. They're down ticket-wise, and they are down objective-wise. They do, however, have some Peasant Horsemen who fleed the engagement, not actually being broken off the battlefield. Could go for a cheeky back cap, see if your opponent notices or not. There is going to be the Heralds of Corn once again resummoned onto the battlefield. We're getting lovely Talons. This is a really nice play by the Cafe player to try to deal with the Hellforged hosts, who had Horn of Corn popped on them. They were butchering the Longmars. One unit has been forced off, the other is floating up in the sky, and Corn dominating the middle. Both of the cultists still alive. Halberdiers are moving forward. No, their Celestial Dragon Guard should be able to deal with the Flesh Hounds relatively effectively, though. They got stunned by the ferocity of their charge. Now they're back up on their feet. I expect to see the Flesh Hounds going down pretty quickly, and that is just what happens. I am a psychic. Looks like the Jade Warrior Crossbowmen are being feasted upon by the Flesh Hounds, as some Peasant Longswimmen charging up bravely into the fray. Looks like they've already lived once and only got 4 kills, so Brave Men instantly charging back into the carnage. Herald of Corn, Locust Wrath does go down on him and the Flesh Hounds. They're going to be able to butcher their way through a lot of the Cafe infantry down here. Objective 3 is starting to be lost once again by the Cafe player, though it is a bit hotly contested. We do get a Blossom Wind, I missed it, no! I just assume it didn't do any damage, but you never know, maybe it did something. The Hellforged hosts are, taking significant casualties at the moment. The Herald of Corn being resummoned is an okay play here, but we have Ancestral Warriors, a lovely counterpunch, very snappy play there, coming in by Park Map, summoning those Ancestral Warriors to force off the Heralds. They should probably just hang out kind of like on the edges here, though, and still cap this, because they really want to push for that triple. Looks like the Grand Cannon crew have lost their artillery pieces, so rather boldly, rather than retreating, we know no fear, they charge forward to support their warriors, and the Celestial Dragon God actually been really good. It's been quite a nice play, I think. They've held for a significant amount of time down here. However, the Double Cultist is just been such a menace in the night for Grand Cafe, who have snuck in a couple of Jade Warriors, though. Captured Objective 2, going the long way around. And all of a sudden, Corn's going to be running out of troops a little bit. We have some dual weapons on arrival. Objective 1 is still theirs. Flesh Hounds caught the sneaky little Peasant Horseman cap there in time and was able to force them off. But with some lovely Talon play, somehow the Grand Cafe player has been clawing his way back into this game. The Heralds of Corn have the Horn of Corn popped on them. They've got up to 151 kills now, but they've been summoned twice. Ancestral Dragon Guard eventually go down. We still have Ancestral Warriors moving in here, but they themselves will soon be dissipating once more. And it looks like the Dragonblight Lord may also get forced back and maybe even killed, just about getting out of there, breaking, but should be able to come back in action, you would think. There's one lone Great Longmar up in the sky. What a Chad holding out hope. Objective 2 is hotly contested, and with dual weapons on the field, oh, it's going to be nasty. Flesh Hounds of Corn get a rear attack. The dual weapons are carving their way through the enemy, singing their songs of blood and carnage. They decapitate warriors and stick axes in chests in greater feats of savagery. We're trying to counter this. It looks like the Rohirrim has arrived. Unfortunately, the Rohirrim is mainly peasants, and they are charging into the deep. The Double Cultists, though, definitely don't want to be the targets. Just ignore them and move in to the objective. We have some flesh hounds moving to go cap objective 3. That's going to force the Cathay player to move resources over there, but it may not need it. They're actually ahead on tickets. It's a very close game, this. 4,500 tickets basically to 4,250. Objective 2 is being caught once again by the Khorne player, but the cavalry is going to bound away and try to find sanctuary or safety. Maybe stop the cap on objective 3. Maybe it won't be too late by that time to hold on to one objective. I'd love to see once again a sneaky cap on objective 1 with Jade Lancers, who may fare a bit better against the flesh hounds than the peasants. Objective 2 is fallen, but it's fallen relatively slowly here with a load of halberdiers on the way. Not sure if they're going to get there quick enough. Objective 3 is being capped by the flesh hounds, and there's nothing here to support and stop it, but then they come through the mist and the night. The Jade Lancers march to war, looking to charge the flesh hounds, and they've stopped the cap on objective 3. It is currently even. The Khorne player has kind of got more infantry in the middle, but he's not spread out enough. Objective 1 could come under threat as well. Cathay march towards objective 2, stopping this push from Khorne, or it should stop this push from Khorne onto objective 3. Very close though, 4,935 tickets. The Jade Lancers, the heroes Grand Cathay didn't know they didn't deserve, but the ones that they got, and they come in slaughtering the flesh hounds, and actually losing the fight against the flesh hounds, but it's there long enough to hold back the cap. GG's, well played, and though it was so close, I thought it was a deserved win for Grand Cathay. I really thought Part Map played pretty damn good there with a tough matchup in general. I think Khorne have a significant boon over Grand Cathay in domination mode. Land battles, obviously, it's a different story. All around, I think Khorne are in a pretty weak spot actually currently due to the box meta, and Khorne kind of suffering against that a little bit. But Grand Cathay, what a game. Managing to win on domination. It is true, the legends have been foretold. The signs of the apocalypse are here. Grand Cathay winning a domination game. Very well played. Massive shout out to Part Map as well for always supporting the channel and sending in awesome replays. Loved the Fire Rain rocket play. 2.4k value of 93 kills. He was under a lot of pressure during that game, and I think he really did come out on top, doing some glorious work, though I do think the single entities are a big problem for Grand Cathay. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts down below in the comments section and what you think Cathay players could do to counter those single entities. I think it's less of an issue on land battles, still a bit of a problem, but domination in particular, it just shuts down your backline so effectively and can be really tough. So yeah, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. Likewise, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a big fat juicy thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more glorious content into the future. And there's a load of links down below to Twitch, Patreon, and Discord. Twitch is where I plan to do extra streams when I get back to streaming. There's Discord as well, where you can submit replays, get involved in live streams and stuff when I do get back. Probably going to do one next week. It's been a bit tough recovering from surgery. I can't really sit down, so doing live streams hasn't really been an option for a while. But I want to get back to them. I'm very excited for Immortal Empires. I may do a Total War Warhammer 2 live stream next week. A one build battle royale tournament, maybe on Tuesday. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, until next time, guys, peace. And as always, stay awesome.